Welcome to Pub Talk, the unofficial official craft beer podcast of Oklahoma, where we're all about the 3 Bs, beer buddies, and bullshit. I'm Michael, and with me as always is a man who thinks it'd be more than shitty if we missed one of these anniversaries in Ponca City, Jeremy.
Hey, yo.
On today's show, we're back with another Spotlight episode, this time with another trip to Vortex Alley Brewing. If you like what you hear today, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button wherever you're listening to us. Show us some love on social media at Pub Talk Podcast. All right, let's get into it.
Might as well just get that
Crack
on the recording.
Smart.
Yeah, it's the way to start the episode.
Photo op, Tom, yeah. Good friend of ours, Rod Alexander from Skydance brought those to us. So, very awesome of him.
Yeah, and I guess we'll throw the picture in the video, but yeah, it's a double IPA from, let's see, Stone Cloud, Lively, Cross Timbers, Twisted Spike, Canadian River, Expediture, Skydance, Angry Scotsman, and Lazy Circles.
We're back.
But we're not here to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're not, but I thought I'd share it with you guys.
No,
sure.
thank you.
I mean,
That's
you guys
awesome.
are here. Like, it was Rod was nice enough to share with me. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what the craft beer community is about, man. For me, it's about sharing.
Absolutely.
As soon as we saw that post, it's like, okay, got to go to Oklahoma City
Exactly.
somehow.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Now Spencer's here. You can join us.
No one ever wants to get in on it.
I know, man. Like, there's 3 other owners, and I can't get one of them to get on there.
Yeah, I guess we should start with welcome back. Thanks again for having us out.
Hey, of course, man. Always enjoy this.
Third year in a row coming out here around the anniversary.
I don't mind getting drunk with you guys. So
It's a good quality to have. So I guess just in case anyone hasn't heard the other episodes and doesn't know, if you want to just kind of introduce yourself real quick.
my name is David Thomas. I'm with Vortex Alley Brewing. I'm one of the 4 co-owners. We have 3 more. Spencer Boatman, who will not get on camera, he's just sneaking around in the back there. Mark Spalding, and Jimmy Allen. We started this back in 2016. Started building it. We opened up in 2017. Today we are celebrating our 3rd anniversary as a open brewery, professional brewery, I guess.
Right on. So it's been a year since we've been here. Has anything crazy happened in the past year?
Nothing. It's been pretty quiet. I mean, nothing really went on. Pretty laid back. The same old, pretty much across the board. Yeah, nothing really in the world. It was just pretty much even.
Right on.
Sarcasm font.
Yeah, we expanded our taps from 6 taps to 10, with the possibility of being able to go to 12 very soon. So, when you guys were here last, we just started brewing on our brand new system. So that was that day. That was the first time we brewed on it.
Right on.
So it's still been working well. It's still been a great brewery setup, and we're very happy with it. So, exciting news coming up. We're going to get keg washers soon, which I cannot be more excited about. We started carrying cigars, and just really, got our barrel age program going. So we always keep a barrel going at all times. So we got one we just kegged on Wednesday. Got another one sitting in the barrel right now. So that Prussia with love you guys had earlier, we have some of that barrel over there. So that barrel. So. Yeah, but really making a lot of different beers, coming back and making some of the same beers that people love, and just really hanging on. I guess that's one way you can say it. You're hanging on. You're hanging on to everything right now.
Yep,
So
that's 2020 in a nutshell.
all right.
And I guess kind of sticking with that theme, we can't, and we've already alluded to it a couple times, but we can't do a podcast these days without talking about COVID and the impact it's had. So I know we talked before we started recording that you guys were shut down for a few months. How's everything been going with that? And
Well, yeah, we when COVID kind of hit, we looked at it and And we really didn't make the decision. Our wives made the decisions for us and said they were not going to work here. And so we shut down like a week before the government told us we had to.
Okay.
You know, so it was kind of a thing. It was like, you know, it was a lot of, you know, uneasiness. There's no answers.
Right.
You know, all questions, no answers, right? No one knew what we were dealing with. I'm not sure we still do, but to a point. So we decided to shut it down. We were Able worked with the breweries in Oklahoma, which was awesome. Kudos to Able, and allowed us to start doing curbside service and selling crowlers. So to go containers, we only did crowlers. So how we handled it was like, so we'd fill the crowlers and they would only go one way. So we wouldn't allow growlers to come back to us because
Makes sense.
it was just kind of one of the things, a cautionary thing.
Yeah.
So just, we don't want something coming back in. We want some stuff out. So that's what we did. And we went through 2 pallets of crowler cans, and, you know, luckily the company we dealt with, just all kept on working out for us, you know. It's like, we got down the last crowler on a Saturday, and the guy came in from Edmond and bought all the crowlers we had pre-made, and then this one lone can that was sitting here on a Saturday, and he asked us to fill that one. We filled that one up, and that was all the crowler cans we had. And then Monday, a new pallet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right
So it gets, it's a lot of unknowns. I think this is going to strengthen us, though. I mean, as far as it goes, it's teaching us how to deal with adversity.
Yeah.
And I think that's across the board. Businesses, small businesses, they're learning to make changes, sometimes on the fly, you know, to accommodate what they need to accommodate to still keep being successful, or keep money coming into the drawer. You have to do those things.
Yeah.
And I think this is, when it's all said and done, I think as small businesses, we'll be better for this. I know that seems like crazy talk, but it's like in reality, it's like you can get stronger.
Yeah.
You know?
Just got to keep the doors open in the meantime.
Right.
Yeah, it's moved the needle on some of the laws and stuff too that needed to get a little shove.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like the law changed for Able. We still now can do curbside if that's what we choose to do. You know, even now when we're open. So.
Let's talk a little bit about your beer over the last year. You guys rotate pretty often. You have any beer that came out the last year you look forward to bringing back?
Well, we're getting ready to come into the Thanksgiving season, and we do this beer. We've done this beer every year. It's a cranberry goza. I think I'm gonna double up on the cranberry this year just to change it up a little bit. Right. But we'll do that one. That's always everyone really enjoys that one. They like taking that to the holidays with them. So we look forward to this season. The Thanksgiving season is really good. The holiday season is really good for us. We got some new merchandise coming in that we're really pleased about. It's coming in pretty soon. Should be here before Thanksgiving week. So just a lot of different things. But I really taking an idea about making beer, and it starts out with just an idea or a thought or what I want or what we want, and be able to convert that into something real. You know, to be able to nail it. And if you can nail it the first time, it's amazing. Like to me, I was like, "Oh my goodness, how did we do that?" Because we're not that smart. but you do it. You make it happen. So I just look forward, to whatever's coming up. I mean, we're going to do Faux Pas for one is our pseudo lager that we just did. It's been a huge success. We're going to do it again. I look forward to doing different aspects of that beer. Add more hops to it, a hoppier version of it, maybe a lighter version of it, because it's 6.7. It's still a big beer, right? So I look forward to getting a chance to mess with that. We have a whole new series that we're getting ready to start. It's going to be candy stouts going forward. We're getting ready. In the next couple weeks, we'll do a big batch of beer, and we'll split off between 2 small fermenters, and we're going to do a Butterfingers and then a Werther's, and we'll do a Butterfingers in one and a Werther's in the other one. So, but as far as it goes, and we kind of started a series like this a couple of years ago with wheat beer, but it was called. So we have Bountiful Harvest, which is our honey wheat. So we started one called Fruitful Harvest, which we just did different fruits in. that was really been successful for us. And I thought, it's time for a new series. And hopefully, in the aspect of doing these series, we convert people into the idea that dark beer is not bad.
Right.
Right? Because people's aspects are going, oh, it's dark. It's got to be bad, right?
Delicious is what it is.
Right. So you have to lean them that direction sometimes and give them something they may be interested in. They may look at the board going, I need to know what a Butterfinger stout tastes like.
Right.
So, we had success with our From Pressure with Love, which is a dark chocolate raspberry coffee stout that had success and that converted people over to some dark beer. So we feel like, we can do it with candy. And really, I love Butterfingers. I don't like to eat them for some reason. I don't like the texture of them.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see it.
But the taste-wise, the flavor-wise, I absolutely enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So it's like, kind of Spencer and I was talking about, I said, we were both talking about, I don't really like the texture of Butterfinger. I said, we should make a Butterfinger beer so we don't have to chew it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get stuck in your teeth. We're good.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a Butterfinger beer and we're going to do a Werther's, and that's going to be in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll, there's Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. It's all different ones. There's Andy's Candies, which I figure Andy's Candies around St. Patrick's Day. Nice, like that little mint in there, and like that'd be a nice little St. Patrick's Day stout. So I was like, yeah, we'll just make Andy's Candies. We'll mix it up. We'll just have fun with it. And I think that's how our approach has been this past year. Let's just have some fun and let's do some crazy things. Let's change it up a little bit. COVID came along, changed some aspects of things, slowed us down a little bit. It didn't stop us, just slowed us down. We had to reevaluate, but still have fun.
Yeah.
Change up our logo. Our logo's been black and white or white and black forever. This past year we had some t-shirts done with the tie-dye logo. And then we've had tie-dye parties, we've had Blocktoberfest, and that was the thing. Let's have fun this year. Well, I think, that was fun. So let's continue to have fun next year. Let's do this again. So I think that should be the aim we'll go for, just have a good time and get creative, be crazy. Don't have to be, we're not in a box. We can just do what we want.
Awesome. You've mentioned the beer a couple times, and we were talking about it before we hit record. From Prussia with Love, it's kind of got an interesting story about how you brewed that beer for the first time and stuff. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I moved to Pennsylvania for a while, about a year and a half, and I was brewing with Mark. Mark was teaching me to brew, but I was kind of the gopher. I was just the guy who went and cleaned pots and stuff and drank free beer.
Sure.
That's how that works.
That's the best part.
Right? So it's not like I get paid. I got paid by beer. But when I moved to Pennsylvania, I really didn't have a lot of the knowledge to brew by myself. At least I didn't think I did. So I kind of started out with kit beers. And if no one knows what a kit beer is, it's like you go to your local homebrew shop, and there goes the planes. Right? On cue. You go to your local homebrew shop and you buy a kit that has everything you need to make this beer, right? So I got a stout, took it home, made the beer, went to taste it, and it was just thin, didn't really have a lot of body, a lot of flavor to it. And when I drink a stout, I like a little boldness to my stout. I don't want it thin. I don't want it, I want to have something to it. I knew I wasn't going to get to thicken the beer up because it's just not possible without adding lactose to it. And I wasn't doing that at the time. And actually, I didn't know to do it at the time. So I'll go back. I didn't know to do it at the time. So I settled on putting a coffee bean. I read up on coffee beans. I said, yeah, you can, and we were bottling at the time, which I highly recommend against. Don't bottle, just keg. Anyway, so we were. I read about it and I said, yeah, you just put them, just sanitize it a little bit and you put the 2 beans in the bottle and you fill the bottle up, right? So I started on my search to find a coffee bean, and around that area Pennsylvania lived, in the western end of Pennsylvania, there was cheese shops everywhere. And cheese shops have everything: cheese, meats, coffees, candies, crackers, things like that. So I went to this cheese shop, and I found this coffee bean, a chocolate-covered raspberry chocolate coffee bean, and I got a little bit of it, a quarter pound, and brought it back and put 2 coffee beans in every bottle and filled them up, and they carbonated in there. We were bottle conditioning. They carbonated in the bottle, sat there for a little bit, and I drank it. It was delicious. So I handed out some friends. I was involved with a homebrew club there, the Meadville Home Brew Club, and handed out some bottles, and people loved it. They loved it until the beans fell out, and they thought I'd put some infection in their beer. But once they realized it was coffee bean and everything, they would text me, go, "Dude, what is this?" It's a coffee bean. I forgot to tell you. Anyway, so it worked out really well. I get back here, we're brewing, and I've always thought about this beer. I wanted to make it again. And I for the life of me, I said, I don't remember where I got the coffee bean from. Just don't remember. And sometime last year, January 2020, my brain finally kicked in and said, "Hey, won't you just Google coffee shop or cheese shops around the area you lived in?" Yeah. So I did that, and there it was, pinpointed, New Wilmington, Pennsylvania. That's what it's called, and the name of the place was called The Cheese Shop, and I could not remember that name. And so I contacted them. I said, "Hey, I live in Oklahoma now. I came to your shop years ago. Will you guys ship to Oklahoma?" They said, "Absolutely." And I said, "I need like 5 pounds of this coffee bean." They said, "We have 4.5." I said, "Perfect. Send me that." So they sent me the coffee beans. I come to find out the coffee beans are made right there in Pennsylvania. Like I think it's, I can't remember the name of the town. I keep wanting to say Georgetown, and I know that's not it. But there's a little town there in Pennsylvania that there's a coffee place, this place that makes this coffee bean. So I started just contacting them directly and getting my coffee beans from there. So from now on. But anyway, we produced this beer, and people absolutely loved it. They went nuts over it. They were. It has that dark chocolate taste. It has a raspberry taste. It has a coffee taste. It introduced people who said, we just had someone post the other day because it was National Stout Day, right? Yeah. So we posted that one up, and one of our good customers says, Kenneth, he goes, "I didn't like stouts until this beer," and he goes, "And now I like stouts." He goes, "I drink that every time I come in." So and that's the part of it. If you're a brewery, to be a brewery, you're changing, and it's always been our aspect. Always been our idea. We said we want to change the mind of people, change the landscape. Yeah. It was never about just being here. It was changing things, and so when you see that, you know that you're making a change somehow, even if it's a small change.
Sure. So. And it's delicious and a great breakfast beer.
Great for 10 a.m.
about 9:45 in the morning. 8%, no big deal.
That's a low one for the day.
That's right.
I don't know. I didn't know what this one is. What is this one?
I was just thinking that.
I was like, which one?
Double IPA. It's got to be 8. It's 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tied.
We're good. We're good right now. Yeah, we've got other ones though.
So, it's on social media. You've posted quite a bit about different collabs you've done this year. Mm-hmm. Can you talk to us first about the Food Grande collab that you did?
So we worked with the local business. This is the Cigar Lounge here. Good friends of ours, Justin and Julie Landers. See, Julie, I didn't call you Jill this time, which I do that all the time. She's always busting my stones because I call her Jill. I said, I drink a lot. So anyway, so we're, they were having their 1-year anniversary, and we've been talking about this for a while. And I said, man, let's do a big, let's do a big beer for you guys. And it was kind of really, in reality, this was our first big beer. We couldn't do it on our old system. Our old system was a barrel and a half, and you were very limited in what you could do there. So we were, in the old system, we were making like 48 gallons of beer, right? Every time we brewed. Well, it's almost impossible. We got to about 11%, is about as high as we could go, and that took a lot of extra work to get there. Well, the new system is much bigger. Now you can still brew. We're still brewing. Like we did Food Grande. We still only did 48 gallons of it, but we did it in a bigger system. So our mash tun was all the way to the top. So we used like 362 pounds of grain. It was a huge, for 48 gallons, that's a huge batch of grain, which I thought it was. The next one we did was much bigger, like 382 pounds of grain. But anyway, we do that process, and we boiled it. We boiled it for 4 hours, and man, it just turned out. I mean, I need you guys to taste it so you know what I'm talking about. It turned out exactly what we wanted. It was awesome. It was crazy how good it was. It is still. So we were very happy with it. But we collabed with them guys. We had them come over. I said, dude, I can't mash this in by myself. And he went out and got drunk the night before and came back. He was hurting what we're mashing. But it's all there. So but that was really our first big beer. And I think what really keyed me off and really getting into this big beer part of it, things, really making the beer I wanted, like a beer that sticks to the glass. Like when you drink it, it's still dark and sticks to the glass, kind of aspect. I was telling you about earlier, I went to Cross Canyon to brew the Bow for one afternoon, right? And then I stopped over at Big, and they hooked me up with this stout they had. Dude, so good. So good. But I remember pouring, it was 10%. I poured it in my glass and just stuck to everything. Just stuck to everything. I was like, that's what I want to do. I said, and we hadn't done that yet. And I was like, we tried, but we were trying it on the old system. We really never hit it. And it was like, I said, I want to do this. And so we researched it, talked to a few people, and really got it down, and we nailed it. So, and that was, that's through a lot of help from other people, which is great about the craft beer industry. You could talk to other people and get information. They're free to share it. It's like, that's one of the greatest things about being in the industry. Like, no one's trying to stomp out the other person. We're just trying to get craft beer about this next step, that next level. So, which we're gonna have. We're gonna have, when you guys finish your beer, we're gonna put this on pause, and I'll go get some beer. Or you guys can talk amongst yourself. But
yeah, we do that on some episodes anyway. So since we've been out here last, you've been doing some cider. Mm-hmm. How's that been going? And
great.
Any thoughts on the hard seltzer craze?
No, there's zero thoughts on the hard seltzer craze. I'll be honest with you, zero thought on that.
Feeling that'd be the answer.
That was, it's not the niche we're going for. Cider, we feel like that's good. We like cider. It's just not something. We don't enjoy it at all. Yeah. And it's, I'm not saying every beer we brew that, each individual person here, owner likes, but I guarantee at least one of them is going to like, right? So I don't like barley wines, but we brew the barley wine. Yeah. And I'm not a fan of barley wines. I don't like the maltiness of it. It's too boozy for me. That's just my but the other three guys love barley wines. But as far as seltzers go, all three of us go, I don't like any part of that. No. And I'm not saying they're bad. I had one in Elk Valley back in February last year, and it was delicious. It was delicious. It's just not in our aspects. I'm not going to say never. I think when you add the word never to anything, that removes from possibilities altogether. Yeah. Or you look like a jackass when you start backpedaling, right? So I just say we're not doing it now. Yeah. And we don't foresee us doing it in the next 2 months. I'll say that. So okay. But 2 months later, we go, oh, you know what? I found this bourbon barrel-aged seltzer that I want.
Let me know when that's we'll come back out.
I found an Imperial bourbon barrel-aged seltzer that I need to have in my life.
With coffee beans.
Yeah, right.
Sounds awesome.
So, it may come down to that. Maybe that's what we haven't had yet. Like, oh, wait a minute, that's delicious. So, it's perfect. Just like it just comes down to our, But there are aspects who say, dude, I'm not going to drink that, and or that's not for me. I'm not saying I don't drink a seltzer. If I go to a place, like if I went to American Slayer and there's seltzers on tap, I'll have one.
Sure.
I went to El Valle, I had one. You know, and they're good. They are good. But for me, just to make it, it's like,
Nope.
so I'm good. Good. Ciders I enjoy. I like cider. I like a good cider. I like messing with it and the creativity, and I'm sure that's the same with seltzer. You could just do whatever. We're working now on making a Christmas cider. So
Nice.
I don't know. This year you did a beer wars competition.
yeah,
Can you talk to us about that?
twice. We did it twice this year.
Twice this year.
So we have some good friends of ours, friends in outside the business and friends inside the business. Jason Snyder, Eric Pikes were the first one that had the beer war, and those are two good friends, and they did it. And it was great. Man, I had so much fun with that. That's once again, that's one of those ideas. Hey, let's have fun with making beer. Let's do this. Let's collab with these guys, and we'll make beer with these guys. It'll be great. Before we reopened, we brewed with Eric Pikes, Jason Snyder, and we added their other friend and our friend Mark LeBossier. And Mark, and he did, he did one that was really good. It was a Bach. It was really good. He called it the pandemic. I let him name all their beers. Like you name your beers all day long.
Sure.
So Eric's was Sick Boy, and it was an IPA. The Bossier was a Bach, and it was called the Pandemic. And then we had Jason Snyder, who did a Northeast style IPA, which was Rage Against it's Rage Against the Machine. What is it called? What the hell do you call it? Haze Against the Machine.
Ah, nice.
So, which was delicious. I mean, they were all good beers, all good beers. Haze Against the Machine. It's difficult to beat a Northeast style IPA. I mean, the only other way you're going to beat one if you did a fruity beer
Or a coffee stout.
All right. Fruity beers usually win out all the time. So, but yeah, so we look forward to doing it again with them this year. We're added to it. I told them, I said, I want to do something different now. I said, I want to do like what they call that, where Top Chef, or not Top Chef, but Iron Chef.
Iron Chef, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like where we get to choose your ingredients, your hops, and stuff like that, and you have to make a beer out of that. Like we're going to add an ingredient that you make. Like we want your recipe, and then we're going to add an ingredient that you have to make work.
Doesn't foam do something like
Kind
that?
of like Iron Brew.
Yeah, I think yeah. But I was like, I want those guys to figure it out. It's like, and that's a fun thing. Like they're homebrewers, but it's awesome to work with homebrewers. I love working with homebrewers.
Yeah.
I was just over at a friend's house this past Sunday, and he was homebrewing. I love going over there and hanging out, and that's where we come from: hanging out, drinking beers, homebrewing in the garage.
Sure,
dude, that's the best. That's some of the best action ever, man. It's awesome, and that's why when we look at this brewery, we keep that same aspect going. It's like, hey, because you'll find one of us here, at least one of us. The four, you'll find one of us here just hanging out, drinking beers, smoke a cigar, just whatever we're doing. But we're going to have, you want to come and hang out? We're just going to hang out and just just have a good time. And in reality, we keep that garage aspect in place.
Yeah.
Because we love that aspect.
It's awesome.
More planes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely got to get video of the plane if it's still going on.
Right?
We're doing that. I don't know how much longer to go.
Yeah. Veterans Day Parade for the listeners. So you also just participated in another event. I think it was last weekend, Blocktoberfest?
Yeah,
2 weekends ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah. So we actually worked with and collabed with the Grand Cigar and Lounge in a collab to host a Blocktoberfest, and where we had you guys have been over there,
yeah,
right? So he has 10 craft beers on tap. They're normally all Oklahoma craft brewers. He had went out and found Oklahoma craft German beers. Wow,
so loud.
That thing is so loud.
It's just sitting above the brewery.
Yeah.
And so he went and found a bunch of things. We had some T-shirts made. We had some mugs made. We sold out of all of it. Like it's all gone. And people said, "You should have got more." I get it now. Right. We didn't know in the beginning. But you know, it was a really good turnout, and I felt like it was successful. It's successful enough that we are looking at building on top of it.
Awesome.
Like, we feel like that's the foundations of something we can do all the time, and we hope that we can do it all the time. And this was kind of more on the lines that we were trying to give an opportunity to vendors who lost a lot of opportunities this last year to be able to set up and sell their goods. Yeah. They're small businesses too. Allow people. We had Knights of the Columbus, which is a Catholic group who they usually sell broths at Oktoberfest. Well, Oktoberfest was shut down this year. Yeah. But they usually sell that, and their profits go to help the Children's Hospital. So we wanted those things to still continue, right? We wanted, even if it's not the numbers you're used to or the dollar amounts you're used to getting at certain events, it was better than zero. Yeah. And we were trying to just say, all right, well, how can we help in a community-wide thing, and do everything we can do there, and we were able to do that. And like I said, the vendors had a good time. The food vendors had a good time. So we're looking at next year. We'll do it again. I think we're just going to do it again and awesome. And do it better. We felt like there's aspects we wanted to do that didn't happen this year, but next year, yes, we'll definitely be in place. So
it's really cool.
It's a good time, and I really enjoyed it. So good. We'll do it again. I'm getting a beer, guys.
Sure. Yeah.
What do you think?
Let's see here.
Trying to pull my mic out here.
Oh yeah.
You like sours at all?
Yeah, I can do a sour.
Have you done funky yet?
I don't know if it was on when we were here.
Which one?
It doesn't matter. I'll do it.
You know what?
Funky Bloom.
Man,
that one's awesome.
This is one of my favorites.
Oh no, I think I had it at one of the festivals in Tulsa.
You know what? You should have a full glass now.
There you go. I think that Shamrock the Rose where you and I just stood up to the side drinking forever.
I was so drunk.
So was I.
I got so much grief about that. You're so drunk.
Oh, I know. I've run into other people from Vortex like at other breweries, and they're like, "You guys are so shit faced at that festival."
I know, right? I'm like,
Sorry about that. Did the article turn out okay?
Yeah, right. Could you read it? They were good. Yeah, what do you think?
I think I got to do the Jitter Juice because that's what you got in your box, right? That I was jealous
It was,
about.
yeah. That's the first beer we had from them at the Wild Brew.
This is our original coffee stout, right? This is it's really good. I don't drink it enough because I'm trying to save it for everyone else, but it is so tasty. We use a coffee bean from Topeka, Tulsa, on that one.
Awesome.
I can't remember. It's in El Salvador, I believe. But
so good.
It took us a minute to find the right bean for it. We used a couple different beans, and we bought this one, and it nailed it. It was the flavor we wanted. So we just started being in contact with them. We get it. I got to brew it again too. So it's great. So from Prussia. So what this is, From Prussia with Love and Jitter Juice are the same base, just added a different coffee bean. So as far as the base goes, it's absolutely the same.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm probably going to leave all that in.
You should.
Yeah.
Which part?
About the beer. Maybe all of it.
I don't know. Why not? Adds to getting the beer.
I think that's the fun part about making beer. And I tell people all the time who make, people are going from home brewing and they're going from a 5-gallon batch to a 10-gallon batch. They say, well, I don't want 10 gallons of the same beer. So you don't even have to have the same beer. Split it off two fermenters, add 2 different yeast to it, you get 2 different beers. So that's the fun part about making beer. Yeah. It's so unlimited what you can do.
Right.
We had a cream ale. It's not here now, but we had a cream ale. We got a coffee bean from out of there's a really awesome place out there on Lake Road called Ricky's Market, and they have meats and I wish they had cheeses, more cheese. But they had meats and candies and all this really cool stuff, right? Well, they have coffee as well and teas. And they had this caramel apple cobbler coffee bean. I went, I don't want that in a stout because I don't want stout. The stout's going to take a lot away from that caramel apple part of it. So, what can we put in? I'm talking to one of our customers. He goes, put it in one of your cream ales. I went, yes. So I took a cream ale, split it off, made the regular one, which is called Mo Barishan. And then I took the other one and we called it Coffee Talk with Mo, which goes Mo Barishan. Basically, just add the coffee bean to it. It was magical. It tastes like caramel apple cobbler.
Nice.
And I was like, oh my goodness. And the coffee, I never really got the coffee. But people said they would get a little coffee. It's like, I never got any coffee. But it's like, dude, this. And we had one guy come, Jason Snyder's brother-in-law was in town. He goes, I never had a beer taste like this in my life. How did you make it happen? I said, like, dude, all I can tell you is magic. Because I don't know how, other than the coffee bean, it's all magical. Because, we talked about the coffee bean earlier. Usually you get that real maple syrup or that generic taste to it.
Yeah.
This just doesn't have it either. And that's hard to find when you talk about a flavored coffee bean.
So, I've lately seen online how vocal you've been about helping dogs and cats find their forever home and some events you've had. Why is that so important to you guys and anything people can do to help?
Well, we're all animal lovers. I mean, I got 3 cats, or I got 3 dogs, and my cat counts is unbelievable. It's embarrassing to a point. My wife's cat count, and we have feral cats. We have about 7 or 8 feral cats outside, and we captured all of them. We did capture all of them, and we had them all fixed, every one of them. But they stick around the house. We feed them every day. Make sure they're water. But to me, it's important. These are some of these they didn't ask to be put in the situation they're in. Some of them are in dire situations. Yeah. That makes no sense. And some people like to get puppies because they're cute, or cats because they're cute and they're little, and then they grow up. And all of a sudden, they don't like them no more. And that's not the dog or the cat's fault. That's that's a human being's issue. It's not a cat and dog's issue. Should be a great cat, still be a great dog. And it's just because they're not cute any longer. So it was important to us that we help find this and helps eradicate some of the issues that are going on and just bring exposure to it, because it's a big deal. I mean, if you look around, and we're just in Ponca City, I can't imagine what a bigger city, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, those areas like that to deal with this stuff. We're a small town, and it's over the top here. Yeah. So the more people have exposure to it, the idea of it, thinking about it, talking about it, if you just look at it. So, in all honesty, we had a neighbor, which you probably won't ever see this Pet Pupcast, so I'm not really worried about this. We had a neighbor had 2 dogs, and she had dogs before, the year before. They had dogs before. The dog had puppies. All the puppies were surrendered to the humane, or not to the pound, so they were lined up for be killed in a week or so. Luckily, thankfully, the Humane Society stepped in and got all of them.
Awesome. And
found them homes. A year later, the same neighbors get 2 pit bulls, beautiful dogs, nice dogs. Oh, one's a female, one's a male. They're super nice. They were outside. They weren't inside dogs. They were outside dogs. But they only saw their people when they would come out and feed them once a day. So the dogs are unruly to a point, right? And I would go out there and pet them, and they loved it. They would bark when I would walk away, and my grandson would pet them. And one day the dogs got out, and I said, "Hey, your dog's out." And we brought them back to him. The very next day, the dogs out again. And I said, "Hey, your dogs," and at this point, the pound picked them up. I said, "Hey, your dog's at the pound." She goes, "Well, I gave them to someone else." I was like, "No, you didn't. They were in your yard last night. Now they're out this morning when I went to work. It's like 6:30 in the morning." And the dogs went to pound it. And I was just heartbroken at the fact that these dogs were going to be euthanized. And they were. If they did not, they were pit bulls, which is difficult to get rid of.
Yeah.
And I was afraid they were going to be euthanized. And, you know, I knew at that point we need to get involved in something, you know, and why not be involved in something we absolutely love?
Yeah.
Animals.
Yeah.
Right? So it was a great partnership with the Humane Society. The Humane Society, some individuals, not the Humane Society, but some individuals who work for the Humane Society saved these dogs. They got these dogs. That's the good news. The dogs were saved. They were bailed out. They were taken to new homes up north, which is great. So but you could see at that point, if people put effort into it, things would work. You could fix things, right? Yeah. So once I saw that, it was important for us to say, all right, let's get involved with this. So Humane Society was automatic for us. It's like, let's get involved. Let's make beer and we're gonna do it again. We'll brew another beer, especially for them. It'll be fundraising beer, and you know, we're grouping them now. We have this little thing down there for the Humane Society to collect donations. We collect donations of food, which they came and got, which we collect food in them. So this is a drop-off location for food. Anything for the Humane Society, like, you know, chew toys, bedding, stuff like that. So we made this a drop-off location. So it's just like, you know, it's important to us. And I love dogs and cats. So, and we have these dogs that come in. We have our puppies on the patio program. You know, people bring their dogs, put them on the patio. We love that stuff. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
Love to see it.
Yeah. So we've talked about, you guys have gone to 10 taps. We talked about a couple of the specific beers, but I know from our past podcasts, one thing you guys don't do is brew the same beer all the time.
No.
So let's talk about what people can expect now and upcoming beer-wise.
Well, 10 Taps has allowed us to put more of the same beers on a lot. So we will have going forward, it's maybe not be on all the time, but it's going to be on a lot more than it was before. Sure. We're aiming to get it on all the time while keeping diversity as up front as possible, you know. So we'll see probably 5 beers that will be on a lot more, if not all the time. So one is Bountiful Harvest. One is Ambidextrous, which you can see is not up there, but it's in the back room ready to go on.
Yeah, it's listed as upcoming.
Right. So you have Ambidextrous, Funky Bloom, not Scale, which is not on, and not in a fermenter, and not in a keg, but it will be here soon. Okay. Apparently, Faux Pas has now been added to that list of beers that we have to now do that with. Okay. So I think it makes it important for us to go to 12 taps, because now if we're looking at 6 beers, I want at least 6 beers that we can at least switch out all the time. Yeah. And then you have what's the other one? Tropic Thunder. Okay. Which is difficult to do because there's so many. I mean, Tropic Thunder is by far our best-selling IPA, by far. Like, it is just, it's pictures over there doing it. It's a slam dunk. It's all the time. Yeah. So but as far as it goes, it's a great beer. Everyone loves it, and it doesn't get on as nearly as much as other things. But the problem is, we wanted to all do these different IPAs. Sure. I think if you get to 12 taps, now you're able to say, all right, we can at least have 2, 3 IPAs. Right? Yeah. At that point.
We could have 4.
Right? Do we love the IPAs? Yeah. But right now we have Alan's Talons is on. We have the Grapefruits of Wrath is sitting back there. We have Father Carson's project. So right there is 3 IPAs setting. I mean, we have a black IPA we haven't done over a year that needs to be done again. It's called Soul of Your Ex.
Oh yeah, that was delicious.
Delicious. Yeah. Black IPA. I really want to do that beer again, but I'm sitting going, I don't even know where to place it. There's no place to put that beer other than in a keg. Yeah. And in reality, we really don't want IPA sitting in kegs for a long time, or ferment for a long time. So they had to have an idea of freshness to it. And Tropic Thunder is one of those. Now the good thing about Tropic Thunder, we don't worry about dropping and making a malt bomb out of it, because what happens is, because Tropic Thunder is made with honey. It's made with Turo and honey. Really, that's this grain bill. And honey doesn't malt up like malts do. So honey makes this really nice, sweet flavor to it. It breaks the edges off. And that's why Tropical Thunder is so popular with everyone. I don't know if you guys noticed, we use honey in a lot of stuff. So we use honey in Mouth Harvest. We use honey in Tropical Thunder. We use honey in our honey cream ales. We use honey in scar tissue. We use honey in a lot of it. So we go through a lot of honey. But we find that honey is a nice ABV boost, while it also, if you're talking about, it has a smoothness to it, really nice smoothness to it, and it doesn't create an alcohol burn. It's a smooth transition beer. It's really good. So it works with beer really well. So we burn through a lot of honey, and and that's never going to change. We're just going to keep doing it.
Sure.
Unless we run out of bees, then we're all dead anyway. It really doesn't matter.
So let's talk about Ponca City just a little bit. I guess you were recently named the Ponca City Main Street Business of the Year.
Yes, sir.
For this year. What's it feel like being the only brewery here, but also helping rejuvenate the area when it comes to businesses?
Well, even our infancy when we began, we've talked about this before, as we knew that we were never going to have a level of success if it's just us on our own. It had to be, we had to change the landscape. Like the landscape had to change for this to be successful. So that meant, landscape, what I mean by that is other businesses had to come in within this area. Our focal point has been Main Street, this area. We love Ponca City, we love being from Ponca City. We also understand that we have to build what's in this area that we're in, which is this Main Street, the downtown area. So, and now we have all this diversity going on downtown. We have new coffee shop right across the way, parking lot. There's a kids place right here. Games and stuff like that for kids. We have a tattoo parlor now, actually on Grand, like seriously on Grand. Just right over here, a block away from us. We have a disc golf shop that is going to be a lounge too. So they're actually putting a bar in over there, just right over on First Street. We're on Third. You have different little elements going on. We have the cigar lounge, which is less than a block away, which is our good friends of this Grand Cigar Lounge. So it's, it was always about the idea of this had to change around us. When we got in this building, no one was in this whole duplex except for the loan place right down the street here. And now the loan place is still there, but now every building's occupied. We have the home brew shop next door, the Back Alley Brewers and more.
Yeah.
So they're right next door. We have Jess, who owns they're in the middle of doing a remodel, but they own the whole complex. But they have their Photoshop studio, and they own the next one. So it's just been huge. And we talked about this. Like, we won Business of the Year this year. I was like, it's going to take everything to win Business of the Year in the second year in a row, to do a repeat, which I don't think has ever happened in Ponca City, which would be amazing. We have stiff competition. There's a lot of really good businesses came in this year. So there's a martial art place right over here. There is a place that does beauty health over here. The Provisions, who just won New Business of the Year. So they're up for Business of the Year next year. All these businesses were for New Business of the Year. Now they're coming in for Business of the Year. So the competition just grew this year. So next year to win, it's like, dude, it's going to take everything we have. Basically, to us, it's like, just keep doing what you're doing, and just do better. And if it falls where it falls, but in reality, it's like, but no one's ever repeated in Ponca City, not Business of the Year. So I mean, that would be a big accomplishment to do it twice in a row. So.
Right on.
So we've got the 3rd anniversary party happening today.
Yep.
What else is on the horizon?
December.
November, December, yeah.
Yeah, January 2021.
Sure, I mean, just generally speaking.
From all the memes, I'm pretty sure COVID goes away at 2021. Everything's like looking like if we get just past 2020, everything works out, right?
Yep, exactly.
Everything works out after that.
The sun will come out January 1st.
Right, correct. I don't even think snow's going to happen.
Probably not.
So we're good.
Well, and it will the rest of 2020.
Dallas Cowboys will win a game.
Fuck. we haven't gotten that on the record.
No, we had to get that in
I
there.
didn't want to just go without doing that. So,
last time we clapped on the podcast together. Clapper's gone. And it's even worse.
Right?
Yeah, there's no clapper. It's just all
Hey, you know what? And I'm
toilet
still.
sounds.
And the thing is, even they're worse than the team. I'm still happier just because he's not.
I agree
Right?
with that. I agree with that.
I'm still happier that he's
At
not
least they
there.
beat the fucking Giants.
Right?
All those memes. Oh, you guys were mad. He was the reason. Now I'm just glad he's fucking gone.
Right?
My girl was like, "Oh, you guys want Jason Garrett back?"
Nope.
No.
No.
Like someone posted the other day, you missed Jason Garrett? I said, no. No, I'm perfectly fine without Jason Garrett ever. Like, they could be awful. They could just be, seriously, just like the worst. I mean, like, they'd be worse than the Jets. And I'd still be going, nope, I'm still good.
Agreed.
Yeah. I gotta love being a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
I gotta ask before we wrap up here. Talk about maybe some of your favorite beers over the last year, outside of Vortex.
Dude, I mean, you see that we post all the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you follow us on Instagram and stuff like that, we're always posting different beers. Because I enjoy beer. My deal is I promote beers. If we send a picture that's not a Vortex Alley Brewing beer, it's because we're promoting craft beer.
Yeah.
And we're promoting something we like. It's not just I'm putting the picture up because I'm drinking a beer today. It's like, because if I'm doing that, that's all you'd ever see on my post every day. So, I'm. The thing is, I really like what I can get here is not always what is my favorite. So I like going to places, the beers I can't get.
Yeah.
And I think that's the mentality of everyone. Like they want beers they cannot touch, right? So I love going. I'll tell you right now, I absolutely love when I went to Big back in June or July. That was pretty awesome. I can't say anything for Crest Can because he didn't have any beer on tap when I was there. He was quite open. So, but I know Bo he does great beer. So,
Yeah.
But I really love going to Big. Core 4 was awesome. Love going to those guys. And the thing about them, they're all small. These are small nano breweries, right?
Yeah.
I love going to Elk Valley because every time I go to Elk Valley, there's always something new on. There's always something new that I can't touch at any place. So that's really good. Ponca City is a little different from where you guys are at, or Oklahoma City. We don't get a lot of the special releases that you see in areas. We're kind of the last stop on when you talk about distribution, and that's too bad because a lot of people love craft beer here in Ponca City now, and people would support it completely. They'd be buying it up. But it's just not, when you talk about distribution, we're not the biggest distribution spot for people. So we hope to change that, and people will start looking at Ponca City as a better location. We go up to Stillwater to pick up our some merchandise and stuff up there. We'll stop at Iron Monk, and they have great beers that are not available. You just can't pick up anywhere. You can only get the tap room.
Yeah.
And they're doing a lot of one-off stuff. Haven't been to Tulsa in a while. I really want to get over there. There's a couple breweries I want to go to. I want to get back over to Heirloom. It's been probably over a year and a half since I've been to Heirloom.
Oh, wow.
They go to see Travis at Nothing's Left.
Yep.
Travis is great. Haven't been over there in a while. I like Dead Armadillo, man. Those guys. I think those. Once again, it's tap room. These tap room releases, like you just can't touch these things anywhere else.
Right.
Those are the ones I look forward to.
Yeah.
I wish we were a little bit closer or had a little more time. I think that's the issue. It's not that we're not close enough. It's that it's time.
Yeah.
We don't have enough time to just run over there and get these special release beers.
Yeah.
Because they sound amazing. And really look forward to Skydance getting their new place open up.
Yeah.
Man, Rod, and Jake are just going to be building this wonderful place. Julie too. I don't know, add them all in there. They have some great investors, great people. They have a passion for it, so that's awesome. So, and the cool thing about Skydance, Jake and then Rod, they met here, and their deal was struck here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really?
I didn't know that.
That's really cool.
So it was really, really cool. It's really, and that's the thing. I knew Jake from events. And Rod is he works for the city. We'll say that. I don't know if a little more detailed than that. He don't kill anyone. He's not like a hitman for the city, but it's not like that secretive. But I don't know but Rod is a great guy, and he hooks us up, and it's kind of back and forth, and that's really. I really look forward to those things. And as far as beer goes, just if I can get out of here, just go somewhere else and drink a beer. And the cool thing about the Cigar Lounge, we can go over there and drink a lot of good craft beers made in Oklahoma. You can't get in a can here in town. So.
Well, before we get out of here, any final thoughts? Anything else you want to mention or throw out there?
Cowboys still suck.
Well,
true. Go Cowboys.
No. Yeah, I do love them still.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's why it hurts so much.
It's like being in an abusive relationship.
It's an abusive relationship. It's like something on.
not to make light of that.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. But it's just like, I think it's just like it. Maybe it's not. Maybe
Emotionally, it's like
Emotionally, it hurts. Yeah. Emotionally, it's like I know what it feels like to be an OU fan during bowl games.
There you go.
All the time.
Except it's
like all the
season.
time. It's like all season long.
Yeah.
So if you're an OU fan, you understand. Like during bowl games, you're like, oh, I get it, man. It's just a disappointment all the time. No, it's like really, man. I appreciate you guys coming out again.
Oh, of course.
I love it.
Hopefully, do this again next year.
We will.
For sure.
We'll have all these different beers. Now it's really time to break out the big beers.
Yeah.
Here
we go.
Have some cigars. Bring out the big beers, and let's get messy. Let's get sloppy.
Let's do it. Drink responsibly, guys.
Right? Yes, that. Drink responsibly. That's what I meant to say. Sloppy. I said sounded like I said sloppy, but it's responsible.
Yeah, it's just
Got it.
Well, thanks again for having us out. It's always a pleasure.
Always.
That's going to do it for another episode of Pub Talk. Thanks again to Dave and everybody at Vortex Alley Brewing for having us out today. And congrats on 3 years. Always a pleasure. Make sure to check them out if you're in the area, or make a point to be in the area. They're in Ponca City. And follow them on social media. You can follow us on social media as well at Pub Talk Podcast. Check us out on the web, pubtalkpodcast.com. And as always, never forget that there's nothing in life too big or hard you can't handle it over a few beers with your good friends. Until next time, just chill till the next episode.